The pitch from Acevedo.
Swung on the line, down the left field line for a base hit.
Fly ball, gap, right center field. And
Double him up at second.
Luke is going back to the 1-8 track. Get out the right, run and Buster Grandma. It is grand salami time.
will send Seattle to the American League Championship Series for the first time in 24 years.
Hello and welcome back to the Like the W podcast. As always, I am your host, Mahal Domingo Anderson. And welcome to episode 192 of the show. Emergency podcast this morning, as I wasn't able to record last night. I'm recording this one though. Sunday, August 2nd, we had an emergency podcast earlier this morning, Sunday morning, talking about the Luis Castillo trade. Make sure you go listen to that episode if you haven't already. It has my instant reaction, has my reaction to the entire package. Now, on this episode, I'm going to go into Sir Anthony Dominguez, because this is the piece that could potentially help this Mariners ball club in 2026, and potentially 2027 and 2028. So, we're going to talk about the trade briefly. We're going to go into Sir Anthony Dominguez, and then we're going to talk about this Mariners bullpen in general, because it has been an issue as of late, and as we head into deadline day on Monday, the bullpen needs to be a place in a position that the Mariners address. And I think it will be something that they address. They finally get a series win over the weekend against the Minnesota Twins, and they do it in somewhat gutsy fashion. You know what? They go ahead in each of the three games. They kind of do what teams were doing to them on the road trip, and they were able to just jump ahead and punch teams in the mouth. And in game one, they weren't able to pull it out. In game two, they were able to pull it out. And that came from some clutch hits, some clutch home runs, but it was game three. That happened earlier today, where it looked like the Mariners were coasting to a series win before Edward Brizardo, Jose A. Ferrer both get touched up for a combined 5 runs before Andres Munoz gives up a solo home run to Luke Keyshaw in the top of the 9th inning to tie the game at 6. So the Mariners blew a 6-0 lead, and it was the type of game that if the Mariners had lost it, it would have felt like one that was the end. It would have felt that way. This felt like a must-win series, and losing a game like that would have been crushing to this team. But they come through in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Colt Emerson does what he needs to do, comes up clutch, and the Mariners get the win. They pick up the rubber match. They get the series win, and they're getting on the right track a little bit more. Now, you got to build on this. I feel like I sound like a broken record at this point. I feel like I've been saying this over and over and over again, but at some point you have to build on stuff. You look at today's ball game. Julio Rodriguez, Josh Naylor, both with multi-hit games. Build on it. Cal Raleigh, a home run. Build on it. Cole Young, 4-hit game, the first one of his career. He has been absolutely unbelievable. Colt Emerson, a 2-hit game. Build on it. Mariners got hits from their 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 hitters, and 6 hitters, and 7 hitters, and 8 hitters in this ball game. The only guy not to pick up a hit was Leo Rivas from the starting lineup. That's a good sign. That's the type of production that this team needs. 14 hits the Mariners were able to scrape across today, and they scraped across 7 runs with those 14 hits. Look, they're still struggling in terms of leaving guys on base and with runners in scoring position, just 4 for 13 with runners in scoring position and 12 guys left on base. But a big home run from Cal and a couple of big hits, and the Mariners did what they needed to do. Seeing Josh Naylor hit a double to the opposite field is a good sign. A line drive to the opposite field on a pitch up and away in the zone is a good sign. That's the type of swing I want to see from Josh Naylor, the type of swing that we saw against Colorado at the end of last year in the clutch. it felt like a very similar swing. Now, this one obviously more down the line, but the same type of swing, right? A pitch up and away that you just muscle the other way and you find some green grass, get yourself to second base and get the double. Build on it. And the bullpen has been an issue. Okay, we already know they got reinforcements coming in. Let's get into it. Sir Anthony Dominguez, Mariners acquired in the trade where they sent away Luis Castillo and his $24 million that he's owed next year, alongside the $7 million he's owed the rest of this year, and a potential $25 million in 2028 should he hit 180 innings next season. Okay, we talked about Luis, we talked about Nolan Jones, we talked about Boston. All right, we got into the pieces that we needed to get into this morning. Now we're going to dig into a little bit of Sir Anthony Dominguez, the reliever the Mariners are getting back. This is a right-handed reliever who's 31 years old and has been a high-leverage reliever for multiple playoff teams. The Phillies and the Blue Jays, both teams that have gone deep into the postseason. Well, Dominguez has been there. This is a guy that is experienced, a guy that's a veteran, a guy that can bring some leadership that this bullpen and this team kind of needs, right? We don't know if he's necessarily a big leader like Josh Naylor. We don't think he is. I don't expect him to be. Even Luis Castillo, not like that. But he's a veteran. He knows what it's like. He's been around the teams. He knows what it takes to be successful. Okay. He's owed some money. And the Mariners are going to pay that money. $10.5 million next year, $2 million for the rest of this year, potential mutual option for $12 million in 2028. That is what was allowed. That's what this trade ultimately came down to. It was swapping the money of Castillo and Sir Anthony Dominguez. That was the swap. The Mariners got the reliever that they've been desperately needing, and the White Sox got a starter that they've been desperately needing. Now, this should not be the best bullpen arm the Mariners acquire. However, like I said, this is a guy that has pitched in high leverage situations in the past. He's been a little bit up and down this season, and part of that's due to his almost 14% walk rate, but he's still striking out over 28.5% of the hitters he is facing. Biggest issue, though, has been the home runs, even alongside the walks. And when you walk guys and give up home runs, you're going to give up 2-3 run homers, right? You're going to give up more runs and you're going to run into more problems when you walk guys and when you give up home runs. Those are the two things that as a reliever you really cannot be doing. However, of the home runs he's given up this year, just one of them has been since May 18th. And over that span, he's been really solid. A 3.20 ERA. It's not my favorite number for relievers, but a 30% strikeout rate and a 14% walk rate. When you look at what he's done against right-handed hitters, he's been virtually unhittable. A 33% strikeout rate with just a 10% walk rate. This is a guy that has the ability to be a legit leverage arm for the Mariners at the back end of their bullpen. However, that's not the role that I expect him to be in, and it's not the role Dan Wilson that he should be in. I said it on the earlier episode. This is the Edward Bazardo type of guy, not the Matt Brash type of guy. This is your 6th inning guy, your 7th inning guy, not your 8th or 9th inning guy. Now, there have been periods of his career where he's been an 8th or 9th inning guy, and the Mariners might be able to unlock a little bit more in him. Wouldn't be surprised. They do it all the time, right? But based on what he has been in his career and what he's been this year, this is a 6th or 7th inning guy that has the ability to get strikeouts to put out fires. Okay, and well, he's going to put out fires. There will be fires he starts to with that walk rate. And hopefully he keeps those home runs in check again. Right? You look at that home runs per 9 stat. Like, it's been over 141. It's been over 140. It's been at 141 this year. Almost a home run and a half per 9 innings. Last year it was not even 3/4 of a home run per 9 innings. Okay. But again, the numbers since May 18th don't include a lot of home runs. And going to the MOB is going to subtract home runs from you as well and make you a better reliever. The Mariners need help in their bullpen badly. That's why you cannot complain about this acquisition. You cannot. You can say this is not the best reliever that the Mariners should acquire at this deadline, and that is absolutely 100, 1,000, 1,000,000% true. 1,000,000% true. In fact, I would say this cannot be the best reliever that you add. But this is a good addition to this bullpen. This is one that increases your talent. This is one that makes you better in the bullpen. And again, this trade allows you to go to an 8-man full bullpen once again. With a guy that's experienced, a guy that's been successful as recently as last year. As recently as last year. Where he dealt with a similar walk rate. Even worse walk rate. Actually, pretty much the same. The strikeout rate was slightly higher last year. He's getting a little bit more whiff. And he swapped around some usages a little bit more of the sinker this year compared to the split. If he can find a little bit more of that feel for that split and he can use that split a little bit more, like I would not be surprised to see the Mariners tweak a couple things with him and turn him into the high leverage 7th or even potentially 8th inning guy that you need. But again, you need a surefire 8th inning guy. And you have been needing that since 2023 when you traded Paul Sewald. Do I do that Paul Sewald trade 10 out of 10 times? Hell freaking yeah, I do. 100 out of 100 times. But since that trade, you haven't acquired the right-handed reliever that you need in your bullpen to have the complete bullpen. That the way that this roster is built needs. Okay? They need it. And whether it's tonight, I've been trying to wait to record in case something broke. Whether it's tonight or tomorrow, the Mariners need a legit bullpen. They need a legit bullpen arm. Okay? They need Luke Weaver. They need Adrian Morejon. They need Jeff Hoffman. One of those three guys. Okay? And if one of those three guys is a Seattle Mariner tomorrow at this time of the night and is pitching for the Seattle Mariners on Tuesday night, that's the bullpen I'm freaking talking about. That's the freaking bullpen I'm talking about. Go out there, and whether Matt Brash comes back this season or soon or not, you have a bullpen you can start to win games with. Because if Matt Brash comes back at the beginning of September, let that be a luxury. Not the thing that pushes your bullpen to the point of it being successful. Even when he comes back, how much is he going to be able to throw? Okay, I am excited about this bullpen acquisition in Sir Anthony Dominguez because it signals to me that the Mariners know they need to add bullpen help. But I also don't think that this takes them out of other arms. And while they've already improved that bullpen, they can still improve it more. They can still improve it more. And if your bullpen, when we're talking next, has Munoz, Brash, Spire, another high leverage guy, let's say Luke Weaver, Sir Anthony Domingos, Jose Ferrer, Edward Bazardo, and like Cade Anderson, freaking fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yes. Now, obviously, Matt Brash won't be healthy yet, but that's the type of thing I'm freaking talking about. Okay, that's the type of thing that this team needs. And Dominguez is a guy that has been a guy for multiple seasons, for multiple years. He is experienced, he's a veteran, and that's something that this bullpen needs. Ferrer is still young. Bazardo is young and somewhat unproven still. And both those guys have struggled as of late. And let's get into it, right? Jose Ferrer. I talked about home runs being a thing that sort of erased for Sir Anthony Dominguez. When you look at Jose Ferrer, when he was really chugging through through the end of May, when the Mariners were playing good baseball, he'd allowed just 1 home run the entire season. Since the end of May, Ferrer's allowed 4 home runs. That, combined with an increase in walk rate, going from 4.5% in March and April to 0% in May to 13.5% in June and almost 10% in July, have caused Ferrer to struggle. And that walk rate signals to me that he's probably getting in bad counts partially. And when you're getting in bad counts, more home runs are going to pop out. So how does he average it out? How does he get it to 7% on that walk rate? How does he get the strikeout rate up to 19%, 20%? After a 25% strikeout rate in May, it's dipped to below 18% and nearly 17% over the past 2 months. I love Jose Ferrer. I think it's a great trading forward for him. I still believe that. I still would do that trade 100 out of 100 times. But he's not the proven guy that this bullpen has been desperately needing since they traded Paul Sewald. They need more. They need help. And Sir Anthony Dominguez is not that either. You've added on the edges of your bullpen for multiple years now. Caleb Ferguson, Jimmy Garcia, all these guys. Go get a proven freaking bullpen arm at the deadline, pay the cost, and let's rock and roll. I know you tried to get Jhoan Duran last year. I know you were really freaking close and you didn't just have what the Twins wanted. Go make a push for a guy again. Go get a guy this year. Let's look at this bullpen and say, I feel confident in this bullpen shutting down games when our starter throws 6 innings of scoreless ball and we score 4 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs, 1 run. I mean, has this team won a 1-0 game yet? It's sure, like, I don't think I can remember one as I look through the schedule here, try and figure it out. They have one on July 2nd. Do we have another one? There are so many losses on this team. Oh my God. 1-0, 1-0. They got the one, it looks like. Mariners have a 1-0 win this entire season. And look, I don't want to win games 1-0. I want to win them 10-0, 11-0, 12-0. But you got to have the bullpen to be able to win it 1-0. You got to have the bullpen to be able to shut it down come the postseason push. Add a Luke Weaver. Makes your bullpen freaking really good. Really hard to beat. Really hard to face. You shorten ball games. When your offense is struggling, you need to shorten ball games. And look, I expect the Mariners to go get a reliever and a bat tomorrow on Monday. But I really hope it's a Luke Weaver type. It's a Luke Weaver, it's a Jeff Hoffman, it's an Adrian Morejo. Be real fun. Real fun. Now, the other reliever that struggled lately is Edward Pizarro. Now, he's had a similar problem. We talk about home runs with Jose Ferrer. Pizarro had allowed just 2 home runs through the end of June. Since July 12th, Pizarro has allowed 4. In July, his whip is barely over 1. His strikeout rate has been great. His walk rate has also been great. It's just been the home runs. He's been getting popped. Talk about the numbers since July 12th. 8 1/3 innings, has given up 4 home runs, and 3 of those home runs have come after falling behind 1-0 in the count. That said, he still has a 71% first pitch strike rate, which is up from 56% on the season. He's gotten ahead 0-1 on 25 out of 35 hitters during that 8 1/3 innings. It's just a hung pitch here or there that are punishing Pizarro. Which to me is he can figure that out. I'm not concerned. Yeah, you're going to have 2-3 weeks where you struggle with hanging a pitch here or there. But it also, to me, is get him out of some of these scenarios, give him a little bit lower leverage until he proves that he's that fucking guy again. Because he can't afford to lose games because of your bullpen right now. You got too much other stuff going on. Can't afford to lose games because of the bullpen. And it feels like there's been too many occasions where they are losing games because of their bullpen. Now, there have been a few issues with the starting pitchers. There have been a lot of issues with the lineup. And a lot of that's partially due to injuries. But this bullpen, you need it to be sound. You need it to be quiet back there. I need to look at this bullpen and say, yep, all right, 3 innings, we're good. All right, 4 innings, we're covered. We're good. We can win this game. Each and every night. I want to look and see 6 guys, 7 guys, 8 guys. I trust in that bullpen. I want Bizzardo to be the 5th inning, 6th inning guy. Give me that. Inject that into my veins. Right? Let's freaking go. All right? I'm excited for the deadline. I'm going to be doing a live stream in the middle of the day, planning to start it around 10 a.m., 10:30, 11, somewhere in that range. Kind of depends when I wake up. No later than 11 a.m. I'll be starting it, though, and I'm planning to go till 3 on it so that we can see any potential moves. Obviously, if the Mariners make a couple big moves and we just need to get out of there, record an episode, like, I will do that. We'll have a couple people hop on with me. We'll be yapping up some ball. Should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, if the Mariners make a move after I record this, it's 9:05 p.m. right now. Like, if they manage to make a move here in 10 minutes, I'll record that. I'll release that tonight before this episode's even out, so you would know if that would happen. And I am planning on Wednesday's episode to go over the entire deadline that the Mariners had. How did they add to the team? And we might do that Tuesday night episode as a little bit of a post-game show sort of thing. Unknown whether that's going to be like a live post-game show type of thing or not. Kind of depends on timing of everything. But I would like to do it that way. I would. So, yeah. Mariners get a series win. Time to build on it. The Astros are in first place. We cannot let the Astros win this fucking division. Let's go add. Let's go get better on the deadline day. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Jerry, give me all the moves. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, go Nerds! And peace.